Okay, looks like most people have had a chance to get a snack and a drink. So I'm going to begin. Thank you so much for coming to the State of the College address for 2023. I'm Laura Belmonte, Dean of the College of Liberal Arts and Human Sciences, now starting my 5th year. That went by in a blip. If I have a governing philosophy of any sort, it is lead with joy. And that is certainly easy to do today as we celebrate a truly remarkable year in the history of the College of Liberal Arts and Human Sciences. Aided by our superb advancement team, the college raised $14.12 million, the biggest fundraising year in the history of the college. More than Pamplin, people. That staggering amount includes an estate gift that is the single largest donation Claus has ever received, one that will be truly transformative for our faculty and students. Our annual research expenditures exceeded $12 million, a breathtaking 39% increase over last year. We've added new pre- and post-award support to help our faculty seek and manage grants. We've also launched a new Dean's Research Focus Assignment Program that will enable selected faculty to devote 100% of their workload to research for an entire semester. We are working to foster research collaborations across the entirety of the university, and underscoring the central importance of including humanists and social scientists at the inception of transdisciplinary projects. In a year replete with great examples, let me highlight a few of the grants awarded to faculty members in our college. Charlene Eska in English earned a Guggenheim Fellowship to study early Irish law. Donna Eggman in history earned the Society for French Historical Studies top annual prize for the most outstanding article on any period of French history. Charlie Farrington in English received a book prize from the Linguistic Society of America. Rachel Kuehl in education earned a Spencer Foundation National Academy of Education postdoctoral fellowship to examine anti-racist critical literacy practices in rural Appalachia. Rachel Madura earned a National Endowment for the Humanities grant to lead workshops for digital humanities scholars of early modern Europe. Rachel's colleague in history, Jessica Taylor, also earned an NEH grant and is studying 17th century escapes and escape attempts by unfree laborers. Fernanda Rosa in Science, Technology, and Society earned an NEH grant for her project Digital Inequalities in Latin America, along with a fellowship from the Social Science Research Council for another project interconnecting indigenous peoples. Brittany Howell in Human Development and Family Science earned a National Institutes of Health grant to study how early exposure to opioids and other factors influence babies' development. Katie Powell in English and Emily Satterwhite in Religion and Culture earned a $3 million grant from the Andrew Mellon Foundation to work with communities across Virginia's Appalachia region to commemorate neglected histories. Our faculty are also key partners on important Destination Area 2.0 initiatives at Virginia Tech. And across our college, our faculty produced 32 books in 2022, representing more than half of all the books published by scholars at Virginia Tech in the same year. Believe it or not, this is just some of the outstanding work happening in Claus. Soon you will hear from more of our faculty who are pursuing research to help make our world more sustainable, hospitable, and equitable. At this time, I'd like to recognize another special member of our college, Olga Nimko. The college proudly supports Dr. Nimko, our first displaced scholar research fellow. Before she and her daughter fled Ukraine, Olga was an assistant professor in the Department of Law at Polisia National University. She also had an appointment at the Environmental Policy Lab in Zurich, Switzerland. Olga's appointment in our college, 2 years in the making, is an example of many VT employees, departments, and family members working together to support a scholar displaced because of war. The college's Center for Refugee, Migrant, and Displacement Studies, the Department of Political Science, the Cranwell International Center, Global Services, and the Provost's office all came together to find a way to support Olga's research and her family as they have been uprooted from their home. With generous support from the Cranwell Foundation, Olga's housing is largely covered. Many friends and family members worked to move Olga and her daughter Darina into their Blacksburg home. I understand that Aaron Brantley in political science even carried a queen-size bed over his shoulder. School of Education graduate research assistant Ian Hoban, along with his wife Yulia, hosted Olga and Darina for a week while they waited to move into their house. Center for Rural Education graduate research assistant Clint Whidden brought over vegetables from his garden to share with his new neighbors. A practicing attorney as well as a researcher, Olga will be conducting research on refugee food insecurity. She's already visited several classes, arranged a webinar series, and would be happy to meet with you to discuss her research on environmental law and land use policy. Olga, welcome to the college. Within the Office of Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion, Claire Robbins, our new faculty fellow for student engagement, is collaborating with Assistant Dean for Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion, Shaila Mehra. The office is working to develop culturally engaging programs and resources to increase the already impressive academic success of our diverse student body. We are delighted to welcome Christy Morrill, our new student recruitment director, and we'll be hiring a new employer relations and career development specialist later this fall. I could celebrate Claus all day long, but I would be remiss if I didn't acknowledge the intense challenges the liberal arts are facing across the United States. Devastating budget cuts, disregard of shared governance, and purposely vague legislation that cuts to the core of academic freedom have left many of our colleagues across the country, especially those in the humanities, reeling. Book bans reached record levels in 2022, most of them targeting works aimed at our most vulnerable communities. The value of higher education itself is being questioned to an unprecedented degree. We are, in many ways, incredibly fortunate to be at Virginia Tech, an institution striving to make college more accessible and affordable, a university with the bold aspiration to join the world's most prestigious research powerhouses. Neither of these aims will be attained without a vibrant, innovative College of Liberal Arts and Human Sciences. Many of our students seek to make a difference as well as a living. It is our job not to shield them from the harsh truths of the past, but to help them understand how many of these realities reverberate even now. Each of the 36 times I taught the U.S. History Survey at my previous institution, I told students, There will undoubtedly be at least one thing you will learn this semester that will upset or enrage you, a reading with which you will vehemently disagree. That's what teaching history in all of its complexity and contradictions means. Culture and history are messy. People lead complicated lives that can simultaneously contain great good and great evil. Learning can and should be occasionally discomforting. Hierarchies of power are not manufactured falsehoods, but empirical truths that have been examined through bodies of theory undergirding virtually every discipline in our college. And that is exactly how it should be. Now, in the spirit of highlighting more of the powerful work happening in our college, I'd like to introduce our first group of speakers. Farida Jalalzai is the Associate Dean for Global Initiatives and a professor of political science. Today, she will be focusing on efforts to promote our college internationally and provide opportunities for students to learn and experience life outside the United States. Julie Gerdes, an assistant professor in English, will discuss her work with the Destination Areas 2.0 to help prepare society for the next global pandemic. And Maaz Gardezi, an assistant professor in sociology, will discuss his work with the agriculture industry through a grant from the National Science Foundation. Farida.
Thank you so much. Global Initiatives and Engagement focuses on developing, supporting, and enhancing international awareness, programs, and collaborations. A priority is promoting the UN Sustainable Development Goals. In doing so, we have partnered with key institutions, including the UN Commission on the Status of Women, ECOSOC, and other international partners on events, including a Sustainable Development Goals Lab, where students build skills to mobilize on behalf of the SDGs. We have created additional exchange opportunities, including the Sister to Sister program, which enables Pakistani women to participate in summer undergraduate courses at VT and provide them access to mentorship and professional networks. Much of our work has focused on expanding knowledge of global social justice issues. We've engaged the expertise of international scholars and practitioners in critical dialogues and have opened these forums to global audiences. We provided additional resources to faculty to present their research at international venues, develop research with international partners, and provided funds to organize campus events that enhance international learning, scholarship, and engagement. A priority is to expand study abroad programs, create additional international experiential learning opportunities, and make these more accessible to students. We are a university leader in offering faculty-led study abroad programs, and class student participation in study abroad programs is higher than the university's average. We haven't recovered participation rates fully post-pandemic, but we are really headed in the right direction. This would be impossible without the support and the commitment of our departments to international learning. I'd like to recognize MCLL in particular and the important role that they play in study abroad, improving critical language fluency, and raising cultural awareness. Overall, despite recent challenges, we are expanding our global work, and I look forward to continuing to do so with you. Thank you.
Hello. Pandemic threats are increasing in size and attention due to myriad factors, from globalized commerce to climate change to the reach of social media platforms and beyond. Among the networks of pathogenetic, economic, and social influences that lead to an outbreak and subsequent pandemic declaration is the central role of communication. Deficit models of information sharing, language silos among specialized research disciplines, and the erasure of local and cultural expertise in urgent outbreak response has exacerbated existing social inequities and created new ones across the globe. My research uses humanistic tools from the study of rhetoric to analyze how messages about infectious disease frame authority, inclusion, and risk. With collaborators from across virtually every college at the university, the Pandemic Prediction and Prevention team at Virginia Tech is revolutionizing the landscape of outbreak research. Under a new Destination Area 2.0 project, we are studying pandemics across 3 life science themes: the jump of zoonotic threats that could affect humans, the replication of these viruses in biological systems, and the spread of disease from humans to humans. Our 4th theme in this group is empower, which cuts across each scientific research area. Our team will utilize community engagement studios to discuss ethical issues of pandemic research with vulnerable communities, participatory design of activities to co-create localized communication strategies, an external advisory board with community service NGOs to determine shared priorities, and graduate training that includes requirements for team writing and community feedback loops. The humanities and humanistic social sciences enable us to see the beautiful and messy worlds of people beyond overly simplistic typecast. Leveraging these perspectives will be key to understanding and addressing root causes of epidemic disparities.
Hi, everyone. Precision agriculture represents a promising frontier in farming, utilizing data-driven techniques and local farm information to offer personalized farming recommendations. Powered by technologies like artificial intelligence and machine learning, precision agriculture has the potential to transform agriculture, boosting crop yields while reducing environmental impacts. Nevertheless, several challenges hinder both the adoption of precision ag by farmers, rural communities, and its full potential realization. These challenges are very central to the work that we do, include effectively translating vast data into practical farm management decisions, data ownership, privacy, security, and the future of rural communities and the future of rural workforce. In our projects that are funded by the National Science Foundation and the United States Department of Agriculture, we use living laboratories as a method to collaboratively design precision agriculture tools that can foster trust among farmers, enhance social and economic benefits, and promote environmental sustainability. Living labs can facilitate inclusion and trust building in responsible innovation, particularly when engaging stakeholders throughout the food system, including farmers. Our Living Lab methodology comprises interconnected and continuous activities that are designed to facilitate responsible innovation in precision farming. These activities encompass face-to-face interviews and surveys with farmers to understand their needs, multi-dimensional field data collection and analysis for comprehensive farm insights, a quasi-field experiment combined with serious games to assess the impact of data-driven models and information visualization on farmers' environmental behavior. Furthermore, we engage with the arts, using design workshops that foster collaborative innovation and ensure that the developed tools meet farmers' requirements effectively. Designerly approaches, particularly those oriented towards participation and speculation, provide farmers with a sandbox to explore alternative ideas and realities, mapping out the political material and infrastructural implications and trajectories of using possibly disruptive emerging technologies in agriculture. This holistic approach allows us to address various aspects of precision farming, from understanding farmer perspectives to implementing and sharing these advancements with the broader agriculture community. Thank you.
I'm delighted to introduce our next group of speakers. Rishi Jaitly, a professor of practice and distinguished fellow in our college, will discuss his work with the Center for Humanities and the brand new Institute for Leadership in Technology. Theo Lim, an associate professor of urban planning in SPIA, will share his research, powered by the National Science Foundation, to help city governments address problems associated with urban heat. And then Brian Britt, professor of religion and culture and director of Aspect, will provide an overview of an important service initiative called the Virginia Tech Prison Book Project. Rishi.
Thanks, Dean Belmonte. So if there's one thing you'll take away from my 90-ish seconds, it would be that I think in this room, we're collectively sitting on the superpower of the future. The superpower of the future. I got here about a year ago, and I started asking this question a few months, I should tell you, before the launch of ChatGPT. I got here a year ago after spending a couple of decades as an entrepreneur and an executive in the technology industry. And I started positing that I think, in fact, in my experience and the experience of so many others in the real world, it's the skills of introspection, imagination, storytelling, and story listening that actually help you break through in the real world, in career, in product building, in public policy, and so much more. And I thought, what if we could take the humanities, in addition to all the essential work we do with undergraduates and graduates, what if we added a third pillar, another way to take the humanities to the marketplace, and indeed dressed up the humanities using the language of leadership? And so what we've done here at Virginia Tech in the last year is we've launched the world's first, until someone corrects me otherwise, the world's first executive credential in the humanities. So these are people in the real world. We just launched this last week, executives from Microsoft, Amazon, Boeing, entrepreneurs, authors, all who've had experience in the real world, all paying Virginia Tech or their companies to come here to study the liberal arts. I mean, think about that for a second. These are people with busy lives managing millions of dollars of budgets, teams in a variety of countries, flew from Dublin, Delhi, Los Angeles, and Mexico City to study what you all are sitting on, what we all are sitting on. And I think it's something to be really proud of. What we're going to do in this next year is give these folks a serious experience in the humanities. They're going to take virtual courses on the humanities and leadership, Western and Eastern philosophy, creative writing, an examination of what the full stack human of the future looks like, and do serious independent work that I think they and I think we all can be proud of. The idea here isn't just to build a new model for executive education and leadership education, though that's critical, and I think playing to our strengths and certainly to a lot of my experience. The provocative thought here is that the humanities in many ways have a market well beyond the confines of our campuses. Dean Belmonte talked a lot about the growing appetite for funding in the humanities, and I think we, with the arrival of AI, couldn't have asked for actually a more intriguing and compelling moment to defend and indeed evangelize the humanities. And I'm proud to be doing that from here at Virginia Tech, and thanks to Dean Belmonte for her support. Thank you.
Hi, everyone. Today I'd like to tell you about one of my projects, which illustrates how new knowledge is produced when academics collaborate with community partners to define research. The problem we are trying to deal with is that of urban heat. The global climate crisis is increasing the severity of heat waves, and heat already kills more people than hurricanes, floods, and tornadoes. We think we have ideas about how to increase cities' abilities to adapt to rising temperatures. We've invented cooling pavement technologies. We can operate emergency cooling shelters, and we can increase tree canopy cover for shade and evaporative cooling, right? Well, yes, except that many cities are doing these things, are finding that people are actually not using the cooling shelters, and residents are hesitant to plant trees, even when cities give them away for free. In Roanoke, I've partnered with community groups to define the problem of heat from the perspective of the residents who are most vulnerable to extreme heat. We've found that a deep distrust for government intervention in African American neighborhoods is a major barrier. The problem is not one of heat. It is one of rebuilding social infrastructure, connection, and trust, much of which was destroyed by urban planners during a period we call urban renewal, which displaced almost 2,000 families in Roanoke. With the problem redefined and the urban planning profession implicated, what should our approach be? With community members, we've decided on redefining the process of planning in Roanoke from the grassroots as a means of achieving repair. We call our method trauma-informed, healing-centered planning. This idea has just been awarded a $1 million grant by the National Science Foundation. And while our topic is building heat resilience, the point is to study together how to rebuild community connection, social capital, and trust in civic engagement. Thank you.
The United States has the highest rates of incarceration in the world, and Virginia imprisons more people, 749 out of 100,000, than the US average. The Department of Religion and Culture created the Virginia Tech Prison Book Project in 2021 in partnership with the Appalachian Prison Book Project. And since then, we have held 30 book wrapping parties and shipped over 1,500 books to incarcerated readers in Virginia and neighboring states. Students in our department's Humanities for Public Service major provide leadership to the project, organizing student volunteers from all over campus. We have received hundreds of books donated by customers at Blacksburg Books. Other partners include the Center for Humanities, VT Engage, and several student groups on campus. In July, we received a grant for books from the Rotary Club of Blacksburg, and I just learned this last week that we'll be the subject of a fundraising campaign in relation to Humanities Week. This is a person-to-person educational outreach project. We receive hundreds of letters from incarcerated readers requesting books from all genres in many languages, with some of the top requests being dictionaries, almanacs, and how-to books, popular fiction, and guides for career skills, health, and spiritual practices such as Wicca. Students at wrapping parties read the letters to each other, match them to books from our inventory, and write a personal note to enclose with the book. The Virginia Tech Prison Book Project reflects the college's commitments to education and outreach. Our readers and volunteers have expressed profound gratitude and appreciation for the chance to come together around the desire to learn from books and from each other.
Our final presentations today come from Assistant Dean of Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion, Shaila Mehra, and Claire Robbins, an Associate Professor and our inaugural Faculty Fellow for Student Engagement. Monica Kimbrell, Associate Dean for Undergraduate Academic Affairs, Christy Morrill, our new Director of Student Recruitment, Anthony Amy, a Professor of Practice in our Sports Media and Analytics major, and Tristan Sutherland, a Political Science major and President of the Lavender House.
I'm Shaila Mehra, Assistant Dean for Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion in the college. It's my pleasure to welcome new faculty and share the goals and priorities of my office. In the college, we are all responsible for creating a workplace and learning environment free of bias. We prepare students to use their learning and their power in the service of justice and in the spirit of ut prosim, that I may serve. And we build the capacity to value and support research that is epistemically inclusive and that engages multiple knowledges to get at something akin to truth. It is my job to provide leadership and guidance to ensure we achieve these goals. The college has multiple grant programs related to diversity, equity, and inclusion, including the Juneteenth Scholars Program, which supports faculty research organized around the theme of collective global emancipation. With a colleague in architecture, arts, and design, I co-lead a community of practice in anti-racist pedagogy. And I have just launched a curriculum innovation program to ensure that our curriculum will prepare a diverse student body to contribute to a multiracial and pluralistic society. The application deadline is October 13th. We also engage CLAWS faculty in workshops to build their leadership skills to interrupt bias in policy and processes. And we are collaborating to build a data-driven, equity-minded framework for eliminating inequities in undergraduate academic outcomes. This focus on undergraduate experience extends in a new direction this year with the inclusion of Claire Robbins on the DEI team. As you just learned, Dr. Robbins is Associate Professor of Higher Education in the School of Education in the college. And this year, I'm very happy to be working with her as the Faculty Fellow for Student Engagement, and we'll turn it over to her to describe her priorities in this role.
Good evening. Thank you, Shaila. In this role, I'm collaborating with campus partners and across departments to build our collective capacity for holistic undergraduate student engagement through a diversity, equity, and inclusion lens. College educators often use the term student engagement to refer to the academic and co-curricular activities that we hope students will participate in, and rightly so, because this involvement is essential for academic success. But Virginia Tech's commitment to recruiting a student body that is diverse by race, ethnicity, and class, among other identities, requires us to go beyond encouraging students to get involved. As a college, we must commit to creating an equitable and culturally responsive environment where all students can thrive as their whole selves. Student engagement is often seen as a means to an end of retention and graduation, but in fact, student engagement is itself the outcome of a culturally responsive and equity-minded environment. To help build that environment this year, I will partner with academic and co-curricular areas in CLAWS and across campus to develop peer mentoring and leadership initiatives and engage students in equity-centered research. I look forward to working together toward our shared mission, and I thank you.
So our undergraduate student body has returned with a lot of enthusiasm. Right now, this fall, we are proud to announce that we have over 4,000 students enrolled across 42 diverse majors. This constitutes 14% of our entire undergraduate population, with over 1,700 students hailing from underrepresented and underserved backgrounds.
Hi, everyone. In addition to maintaining our longstanding academic traditions, we are well positioned to help students guide them towards their dreams and their aspirations. Our holistic advising support model is working, and we are being productive in helping students have access to both career and academic advising to ensure their success. Our first-year retention rate is 93%, and our four-year graduation rate is 80%. This represents both higher averages than when we look at national averages. Our students remain actively engaged in internships, undergraduate research, study abroad, student organizations. This hands-on experience, coupled with exceptional quality of our academic programs, teaching, advising, and our collaborations with campus resource is really contributing to our retention efforts and graduation rates. Our students typically achieve their degrees quicker than 4 years, and in fact, it's 3 years. Our average is 3 years. So that's really, really exciting, not only for our students and the financial impact that takes away from the pressure of debt and just finding ways to fulfill their future goals. So it's such a good year, and thank you for supporting our students.
Here's the tall guy that she was apologizing for. It's okay. It's quite all right. All right, good afternoon, everybody. Okay, in about 75 hours, there are going to be tens of thousands of people to your right that are going to be screaming their heads off, and that's the best you guys can do, right? All right, so I'm going to try it one more time. I know you all have had a long day. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Much better, much better. As you just heard moments ago, and the dean mentioned it a moment ago, before I get started, I would be remiss if I didn't just pay homage to this university. 70 years ago marked the first time that a primarily white four-year institution allowed a black undergraduate to walk its campus. And so that was 70 years ago. It's not that long ago, but it's something that I think is worth remembering, worth understanding, worth embracing so that we can look forward. 65 years ago, first black graduate from this university, and 55 years ago, the first black female graduate. So all of those items, I think, worth mentioning and worth remembering, worth recognizing, and I, for one, want to thank the university for its continuing efforts to strive for diversity. All right, thank you. All right, so I'm proud to represent the Sports Media and Analytics program within the School of Communication, which, by the way, is ranked top 5 in America. I didn't really have a whole lot to do with that. I just got here a year ago. So I walked into something that was really, really good. So I thank everyone that's involved with that. Hopefully I've come in and just been a cog to try and keep this ball rolling. I work primarily in television, 6 different states, and I've been to more than 50 venues in terms of the major sports in North America. And I have to say that, first of all, that doesn't include NASCAR, tennis, golf events that I've covered. I can proudly state that this has been probably the most enjoyable, rewarding professional experience that I've ever had. And there are reasons for that. I have to give honor and thanks to our department director, John Tedesco, of course, Dean Belmonte as well, fellow faculty members Hannah Chenault Dior, Bill Roth, Mike Horning, and retired faculty member Doug Cannon, as the students that we have are among the brightest that I've ever seen. I have no doubt that our program can compete with the best in the country. So what we attempt to provide them with is the opportunity for experiential learning, opportunities in the announcing booth, but we also have them perform class assignments to give them foundational knowledge and understanding that will prepare them for the workforce. And fortunately, you guys are not gonna have to hear me forever. My comments are reduced to about 90 seconds or so. Students, they do have to hear my voice a lot, but what I try to do to counteract that is bring along some professionals who they will actually listen to, since we all have the understanding that they barely listen to us. It's been part of the best part of this job for me so far, is to introduce my professional contacts with the students to allow them to be able to see and understand what they can become. TNT's 6-time Emmy Award-winning announcer and host Ernie Johnson has joined us. ESPN SportsCenter LA's Stan Verrett has spoken with our classes as well. Just this month, we had a Chicago Bears beat writer. Her name is Courtney Cronin, and she joined us. She's a writer who said that she initially wanted to be on TV. That was her goal. She went to Indiana University. I don't know why she chose there and not here. That's another story. But she wanted to be on TV, ended up developing her skill at writing, and that in turn has allowed her to be on television shows with her employer, which is ESPN. Also this month, fresh off his historic Final Four season, Tech head women's basketball coach Kenny Brooks stopped by one of our sports journalism classes to help the students understand the importance of research, preparation, and something very underrated, treating the people that you cover and see like what they are, which is human. So our bright young humans are learning, developing every single day. It's been my pleasure to help guide them to a point where hopefully they too can begin their own adventures of finding their paths to 50+ venues to cover and broadcast games and events as well. So thanks very much. One quick final note. I mentioned probably my favorite part so far is professional contacts and introducing them to the students. One of the things I was really good at on television was tease writing. And so I'm gonna leave you all with the tease. Just yesterday, I was in contact with one of the owners of an NBA team, and that owner is working towards coordinating something, an appearance with, it won't just be one of my classes. I'm gonna try and talk to Dr. Tedesco and see if we can gather numerous classes in our major to hear this particular owner speak on what it will take to get from their seats possibly to his. He was a former student athlete, and we're working on that. That's something that we're coordinating right now at this point, but that's something, if it happens, when it happens, I'll be sure to let you all know, so that hopefully you can maybe send your students along as well. All right, thanks so much. I appreciate it.
Oh, wow. Hi, everyone. Okay, so that was pretty good. Awesome. I'll go with that. Ladies and gentlemen, distinguished faculty and fellow students, today I stand before you with a passion fueled by a burning belief in the transformative power of the College of Liberal Arts and Human Sciences at Virginia Tech. My name is Tristan Sutherland, a second-year student majoring in political science, an ambassador for this college, vice president for the undergraduate student body, and a dedicated queer activist. I am here to extol the virtues of our beloved College of Liberal Arts and Human Sciences, an institution that has proven itself exceptionally perfect for the growth and enlightenment of undergraduate students at Virginia Tech. But before I delve into the reasons behind my fervent advocacy, I must first express my heartfelt gratitude to the visionaries who have paved the way for a more inclusive and diverse academic experience. I want to thank Dean Belmonte, Dr. Shaila Mehra, and above all, our remarkable program director, Jess Silva, for their unwavering dedication to creating the Lavender House Living Learning community. In its second year of existence, Lavender House has become a sanctuary for queer and trans students, a testament to the tireless work of these extraordinary women. It is through their efforts that I'm able to contribute to an educational and recreational environment where queer and trans students can thrive. My journey to this podium was made possible by the gracious invitation of one of the most exceptional mentors and advocates I know, Robin Stewart. Robin, I am profoundly grateful for the opportunity to work alongside you in our college's alumni advancement. Thank you for your unwavering support and guidance. Our college is not merely a place of learning. It is an open and inviting community of students, staff, and faculty who foster an environment where intellectual curiosity knows no bounds. Without the guidance of dedicated faculty members like my own, Dr. Thomas and Dr. Faulkner in the Political Science Department, I would not have comprehended the intricate tapestry of politics, policy, and the importance of advocating for our beliefs. My recent journey to Israel and Palestine laid bare the complexities of geopolitical conflicts and the active involvement, exploitation, and endangerment of queer and trans communities in these crises. Furthermore, my summer internship at Malarney and McCown, where I explored the intersection of law and AI software, revealed the limitless potential for technology to enhance our understanding of the humanities. I firmly believe that the humanities are the lifeblood of our society, providing us with an invaluable insight into the human experience. Yet, it is our collective mastery of AI software that will propel us into a future where we can harness the full potential of the liberal arts and humanities. As students, it is our solemn promise to advocate tirelessly for this college and the wealth of knowledge it imparts to us, especially amid the threat of federal and state budget cuts that could negatively impact the humanities in our nation and within our university. In closing, I want to acknowledge the unwavering commitment of our college to diversity and inclusion. While there is still much work to be done, I extend my heartfelt gratitude to those within this community who have supported queer students, offering a lifeline to those whose families may not embrace their true identities. As one of those students, I can attest to you that you've all shown me the path to my authentic self, and for that I am eternally grateful. Thank you all for your unwavering support, and together let us champion the enduring importance of the liberal arts and humanities in shaping a brighter future for us all. Thank you.
As you can see from today's presentations, the work produced in our college is inspiring. Let us continue serving as a force for good in the world. Before we close today's program, I'd like to invite you to attend another exciting event highlighting our college, Virginia Tech Humanities Week. From October 22nd through the 27th, our celebration of the humanities will feature more than a dozen programs, including several of our faculty and students discussing their work in the humanities, Our keynote speaker, George Chuchos, will discuss prison reform and education initiatives based on his work and experience while incarcerated. These programs are also a valuable opportunity for your students, and I hope you will encourage them to attend and learn more about how the humanities help shape society. And with that, I invite you to continue enjoying food, drinks, and conversation. Thank you so much for joining us.